On January 6, 2025, at 11:15 in the morning, a man named David Morrow was sitting on the balcony of his apartment, enjoying the view of the Pacific Ocean. It was a normal day as usual. Meanwhile, the hills of Pacific Palisades, about 5 miles away from his apartment, but he sees fire with flaring sparks. Within just 1 hour, the fire grew so much that the smoke completely hid the mountain. If seen in satellite view, this fire was first reported in the mountains of Palisades. But after a few hours, it spread to the areas of Eatonhurst, Kenneth Getty, Scurry Ball, and San Fernando. At the time when this fire broke out, winds of 100 km per hour were blowing here, whose direction was from inland towards the ocean. The question arises that if the fire first started in Palisades, which is very close to the ocean, then how did the fire spread from there to a distance of 30 to 40 kilometers in the opposite direction of the wind? This fire has devastated an area of a total of 38,000 acres or 150 square kilometers. More than 12,000 buildings and houses have been destroyed, and 100,000 to 80,000 people have left their homes. This is the most devastating fire in the history of Angeles, and it has not been completely extinguished even during the production of this video. Every possible effort to douse the fire seems to be failing. Water bombers are throwing 45,000 liters of water at a time, which is causing this fire to spread rapidly. Special chemicals are also being thrown with the help of water bombers, which are just a few drops in front of the fire, but all the efforts seem to be going in vain in front of nature, where California is already facing a shortage of water, due to which fire hydrants were often lying empty. Due to the spreading in 7 different areas, firefighters and their equipment also got divided, and on top of that, when the winds of 70 to 100 km per hour were blowing, the fire got completely dispersed. But when this happened, the fire started flaring up even more. Before knowing the real reason behind the spread of the Los Angeles wildfire, let us see how many times wildfires have attacked California before this. If we look at the data of the last 25 years, then California is a hotspot for wildfire. In 2003, the Cedar Fire in San Diego County burned 273,000 acres. The fire that started on October 25 died down on November 4, 2003. In 2017, the Tubbs Fire burned 36,000 acres, and it also broke out in the month of October. In 2018, the Thomas Fire burned 280,000 acres. This fire started in December and ended in January. On November 8, 2018, the Camp Fire burned 500,000 acres and ended after 17 days on November 25. Similarly, in 2020, the Glass Fire burned 67,000 acres. Attacked, and this too started in September and ended a full month later in October. If the dates of all these wildfires are taken into consideration, then these include one thing is very common: winters means these wildfires have occurred in the winter months only, and now the Los Angeles wildfire has also occurred in the peak winters. So what is the reason that in the history of California most of the wildfires have occurred only in winters? This question is the answer lies in a phenomenon called Santa Ana winds. Yes, Santa Ana winds are hot and dry winds that blow in Southern California and Baja California, especially during autumn and winter. If seen on Earth, they blow in the east of California. There is only a desert as far as the eye can see, which is also known as Mojave Desert or Great Basin. The sun heats up the desert, due to which the air pressure here starts increasing. On the other hand, if we talk about the ocean, the air here is cold, and the pressure is low. We read in 6th grade that air travels from high pressure to low pressure. The greater the difference in pressure, the faster the air will travel. And something similar happens here as well. Santa Ana winds blow fast from southeast California. These dry lands move from here towards the ocean, and wherever the hot winds pass, they suck out the moisture there, due to which this whole region becomes dry in this season. Bushes and trees become completely dry and become capable of catching fire easily. Santa Ana winds, where it turns the entire forest into fuel for wildfires, and if a fire breaks out by mistake, strong winds further intensify the fire. The burning coal spreads rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, the wildfire goes out of control. What should happen is that the wildfire should spread in the same direction in which the wind is blowing, but in the case of Los Angeles, just the opposite was seen. The fire was first seen near the Palisades, which is close to the ocean, and later to understand the real reason why it spread to inland areas, we need to understand an interesting phenomenon called mountain wave rotor. The side of a mountain on which the wind hits directly is called the windward side, and the other side of the mountain the side where the air needs to go. It is said that when the windward side stops the air, at the same time a vortex effect is created on the leeward side, and in this vortex the air keeps rotating in a circular manner. The direction of the air above the mountain is in one direction. When this happens, the direction of the wind below the mountain changes to the other side. This phenomenon plays a very important role in the case of Los Angeles as well. The place where the fire was first reported is the leeward side, and here the mountain top is moving due to the mountain wave rotor. Below this, the wind was generated in the opposite direction, which became the biggest reason for the fire to spread to inland areas. Once a wildfire grows very large, it gives rise to many strange phenomena, some of which are difficult to predict. It is very difficult. One of these is the fire tornado. It is a rare and dangerous phenomenon that forms during intense wildfires. It is like a tornado, but it is made up of only fire and hot fire, which is unbelievable. The updraft instantly heats the air and pulls it upwards. Due to the heat, the hot air rises upwards very quickly, and cold air comes from below to fill that space. This updraft creates a rotational motion which moves the surrounding air. By pulling dry bushes into the fire tornado, the vortex becomes even more terrifying. Now this fire tornado dominates the wind blowing in the area and starts generating its own wind inside itself, the direction of which is very difficult to predict, but mostly chances are that this will spread wildfires upwards along the mountain. Wildfires are a reality, and due to climate change, they are likely to be monitored with greater frequency in the coming years. Nowadays, with the help of artificial intelligence, it is possible to predict the spread of fire. The direction is also predicted, and then all this information is sent to the firefighters. The firefighters try to spray chemicals around the area where the fire has started so that the fire does not spread much, but in Los Angeles, the firefighters first try to control the fire in one area. If you control the air, the fire used to spread to other places through this. The first recorded wildfire in the history of America was in the year 1871 near Michigan. In this wildfire, 1.2 million acres were reduced to ashes, and 2,500 lives were lost in the Pago Fire of 1871. From today, Los Angeles wildfire nature is indicating to us that controlling fire is still almost impossible, but if we try to understand nature and instead of fighting climate change, try to live according to it, then perhaps the wildfire can be controlled. The series of fires may stop again. Hope you will like and share this video of the Tech Shed as well. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.